Kenneth Ecker, who played Zoroark Sky Field yesterday in the event. He's here to tell us a little about his deck list real quick before we get into the questions.
All right, so how's it going, guys? So what I have here is a pretty basic like Zoroark Exeggcute deck, but what makes this deck a little bit different than how they have been in previous formats is that now we have Giratina from Lost Thunder, which is probably the most broken card of the deck. So Giratina from Lost Thunder, if you don't know what it does, it has the ability Distortion Door, where if it is in your discard pile, you can put it onto your bench and then put you can choose 2 of your opponent's bench Pokemon and then put 1 damage counter on each of them. And this kind of really helps you out with your numbers against Pokemon that have like 190 HP. You put 10 damage on them, they now have 180. And then with like 130 HP Pokemon, they now have 120, which is very relevant for Zoroark attack math. So, yeah, 4-4 Zoroark, along with the 1 Foul Play. Foul Play is really good, especially in the Buzzwole matchup. So you can copy a Knuckle Impact for just a double colorless. So yeah, that's pretty decent there. One of the things I've received like a lot of criticism about is only running 1 Lele and 1 Brigette. Most Zoroark decks run multiple Lele and multiple Brigette so that they can ensure they get that turn 1 really explosive start. However, I opted to go for more of a aggressive draw with more Shaymin-EX. There's a lot of times where I don't actually need to turn 1 Brigette. So yeah, we just kind of go for the more aggressive draw there. Once we do get our Zoroark set up, and I'm sure you've probably seen it before with the Exeggcute, you can discard an Exeggcute with trade. You can get the Exeggcute right back and just keep doing trade so you're not expending your valuable resources, because as you can see, there are a lot of low counts of a lot of our important resources here. Let's see, we only run a 1-2 Garbodor line because we do have the Ditto Prism, brand new in Lost Thunder. We also have the Machoke here from Guardians Rising with that daunting pose. This really helps us out in like the Trevenant matchup, so that they cannot Silent Fear us, because Trevenant is honestly a pretty awkward matchup, even though you do hit them for weakness. So we do run that Garbotoxin along with our Bursting Balloons and our Klefki, so that we can kind of control when the ability lock happens.
Spectators near the side event area, please just keep that aisle as clear as you can.
One of the matchups that I really wish I played against was either like Lost March or Night March even, because there's a pretty interesting combo with Flying Flip and the Distortion Door Giratinas, where you can get a couple Giratinas down, you can Flying Flip, and then you knock out all of those low HP Pokemon. The rest of the deck is pretty self-explanatory. The Sky Field allows us to hit incredibly high numbers. With a full bench and a choice band, we can hit 210 damage, which one-shots other Zoroark-GXs, as well as, you know, things like Glycopods and whatnot. So, probably, you know, I don't know. Other interesting things about this list, I only run 3 VS Seeker as opposed to 4. I never really felt like I needed 4, because we do have like Dowsing Machine, we can get some of our supporters back like that. So anyways, I mean, that's pretty much like the list. It's pretty self-explanatory.
So what did you play against and how did you do?
All right, so I unfortunately didn't do very well. I went 0-3 drop, unfortunately, and it was mostly because I hit really bad matchups. Round 1, I hit Garbodor GX, which has kind of always been a problem for Zoroark-GX just because of that resistance. Game 1, it was just really close, and she was able to Guzma up a Garbodor and then just keep me trapped for a while, and that was just kind of Game 1. Game 2, I actually prized 3 double colorless, and unfortunately that is Pokemon. There is a bit of luck element there, so you know, we took an early loss round 1, and it was just a little unfortunate. Round 2, I played against Buzzrock, which is arguably this deck's worst matchup. We do have outs with Giratina, like I mentioned earlier. We can Distortion Door and bring Buzzwole down to 180, so that we do not need a Choice Band to knock it out with Riotous Beating. We do have those outs, but because Buzzwole does have those Beast Rings, they are always just going to be a little bit ahead of us. So unfortunately, I lost there. So I was 0-2, and yeah, round 3 I played against the Buzzgarb Shrine deck, which is it might be even a worse matchup because they only have single prize attackers. And I mean, it was pretty close, but you know, it's just they're always that one little step ahead. So unfortunately, this deck is really heat, and had I hit better matchups, maybe I would have had a different day, but that's Pokemon. You never know what you're going to run into.
Is there anything you've changed to help with that, or is it kind of just universally not a good matchup?
You know, I'd like to find room for a weakness policy, but this list is incredibly tight. I feel like I need absolutely every single card. Maybe Ranger, but at the same time, I know right now the Toad Zoroark deck is doing extremely well. So maybe in future tournaments like the Dallas Regional Championships, maybe I keep Ranger. I don't know. It's kind of an iffy card, but I would definitely like to have weakness policy, considering I played against Buzzwole throughout the event. So,
how do you think this regional is going to affect Dallas in a few weeks? Is it just going to be all Zoroark? Is everyone going to go to fighting?
You know, I saw, like I said, I saw a lot of that Toad Zoroark out there, and you know, these regionals, it inspires people to play like the same deck. They want to play what has done well. So you're going to definitely see a lot of that Toad Zoroark in Dallas, and how this fares versus that. I don't know. I feel like this probably has a 50-50 versus it. Obviously, if you get item locked very early and you cannot really set up, it can be kind of tough. Faba is a really good card. So I don't know, it's really 50-50. You can one-shot them, but they also can just lock you out of the game. So it's hard to say.
All right, well, thank you very much. Any shout-outs you'd like to give?
Yeah, I'd like to shout out, Rare Candy, the YouTube channel I work with, Eric and Xander, they're really good friends. Also, my Metapod boys, shout out to them. Shout out to my bud, Zach, who has been helping me out just throughout the past year or so. So, yeah, that's kind of who I got. So.
Well, thank you very much.
All right, thank you.
This has been Josh Bangle, a.k.a. I prized all my Trevenants. We'll see you next time. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.